Okay. We're going to scooch up the avenue here and go see one of Detroit's most famous pieces, and in the spirit of Detroit. So, interestingly enough, you can't really get to the Spirit of Detroit in this thing. But wait, I'll explain. So this is the Spirit Plaza, which is a great new public space. We've invested so much in public space in recent years in downtown Detroit and throughout the city, and it's been wonderful. This got a little controversial when it was put in because they blocked off Woodward to Jefferson, which is a major thoroughfare. But now it's getting some more TLC and is going to be a great additional space in downtown. But here, using this technology, we are going to go back in time to, let's say, 2008. Oh, look, there's no Spirit Plaza at that point, right? So we can just turn around here. I'm in Jefferson. I went a little too far. Or let's skip to 2011 then. It's just so fun to be able to do it. How about 2015? And then we're going to go right here and look at the Spirit of Detroit. All right, how about one more year so don't have that going on. There we go. So the Spirit of Detroit is the main city icon for the city of Detroit, and it stands in front of our city hall, our city county building, which is called the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center. After Coleman Young, who was mayor of the city of Detroit for 20 years. And you might hear it referred to as CAYMC, C-A-Y-M-C, and that's, that's what they're talking about. If you need any paperwork city related, this is where you're gonna go. But it's also where the fabulous Spirit of Detroit is. So the Spirit of Detroit's a 26-foot tall bronze sculpture cast in 1958 by famed sculptor Marshall Fredericks. It has a man holding a man, woman, and child in one hand, representing humanity, and a golden orb in the other, representing God, speaking to the relationship between the two. Now, fun fact, they did not actually name the Spirit of Detroit that by the artist. It was named that by the people because of the biblical verse behind it, which says, "Now the Lord is that Spirit, and wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty." And we get to put our jerseys, our team jerseys on it when they make it to the final. So it's worn a Detroit Tigers jersey, Detroit Red Wings, Detroit Pistons. We're still waiting for that Lions jersey. Though it did not wear a Lions jersey because they made it to the Super Bowl, which they have never been in a Super Bowl. They did win the national championship in 1957, though, so that was something. But it did wear a Lions jersey when the Super Bowl was here in Detroit in 2006, so technically it has. But my favorite part is actually not the statue. It's the rest of the piece of art, which is the city seal and the county seal behind it. And this was one of the first facts that I have lived here in my whole life. And when I was walking around downtown and I saw this really noticed it for the first time and looked it up, I was absolutely blown away. So the city seal represents the Great Fire of Detroit. And here, we'll look at the flag of Detroit, which is also not seen. It's seen a little bit more now, but for a long time, people have not seen it. How about you? Have you guys, many people familiar with the city flag, or some of you, is it your first time that you're seeing it? I'd be curious. But it actually is a great, I think, beautiful flag. It has the history of Detroit here, the fleur-de-lis from the French and the lions from the British and the stars and stripes from the Americans. And then you can see the city seal, 2 women with flames behind them representing that fire of 1805. One woman's looking down and is pretty bummed because we lost every building except one, 300 wooden structures in that fire. But the other one is telling her, "Speramos meliora resurgit generibus," which means we hope for better things, it will arise from the ashes. And I love it because we have literally and figuratively rebuilt ourselves many times in our 300 plus years of existence. And it's why we might stumble, we might fall down, but we're gonna get back up every single time. And we're obviously facing major challenges now, but I totally believe that we are going to be able to arise from the ashes once again, partially because we've had so much practice doing it. We're really, right on schedule to some extent. We burned down in 1805, and then we were the stove capital of the world through most of the 1800s. And then there was the Great Depression of 1893 that rocked the stove industry. And then something about cars after that. Obviously, the car industry and automobile industry is and was and is a huge important part. But I think the difference today is that it isn't one big thing. Though we have lots of great large organizations investing in the city, it's really that it can be a million little things. It can be every small business, every block club, every community group, as well as the businesses in the city and the foundations, everyone kind of working together to create what Detroit can be in the 21st century. And if we do it correctly, which we are working towards doing that, that we can be an example of what equitable 21st century city can and should look like. So that's really the excitement, I think, of anything's possible in Detroit.